Hi learners, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking on the topic writing decimals in expanded form. And what this basically means is that we are going to write each digit according to its place values. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I encourage you to subscribe, hit the notification bell for more math lessons. With that said, let's dive in to look at some examples. Our first example is 4.276. But before I proceed with the solution, I want us to understand that when it comes to decimals, we have two parts of a decimal fraction. And I made video on decimal place values, and the link is in the description below. So click on it and then watch that video. All right. So we have two parts of a decimal fraction. We have the decimal part, and then we have the whole number part. So the decimal part is after the decimal point to the right. So from here down here is the decimal part, and then we have the whole number part before the decimal point to the left. All right, with that said, let's zoom in to look at the solution to this problem. And when it comes to writing decimals in expanded form, we need to understand the place values of the various digits. And in knowing that, you have to understand the value of that number in that particular position it is. So when it comes to 4, 4 is in the whole number part and it is in the ones position. After the decimal point, we have the 10th position. So the first digit after the decimal point is at the 10th position or place. So we have the tenths. And then we have what? The hundreds. The hundreds. So let me write it in numbers. So we have the hundreds. And then we have what? The thousand. All right. So these are the place values of this particular digit. Now, how do we write these particular values in numbers? These are in words, tens, hundreds, thousands. So how are we going to write it when it comes to what? Numbers. That is exactly what we are coming to do. And that is exactly what we mean by writing decimals in an expanded form. So the first one, which is 4, is in the ones place. So it is 4. It's written as 4. And then after the decimal point, we have 2. This 2 here is called tenths. That is in words. But when it comes to the writing, we write it as what? 0.2, meaning 2 tenths. Then the next number is 7. This 7 is in hundreds place. But how do you write it in numbers? You write it as what? 0.07. And then the last digit is 6. In numbers, we write it as what? 0.006. I hope that is clear. So this is how we write this place values digit of this particular decimal fraction. So we have the 4, which is at the 4 ones, which is written in the number form as 4. 2 is written as 0.2, 7 is written as 0.07, and then 6 is written as what? 0.006. So now, let's write this in an expanded form. So in writing it in an expanded form, we write 4 plus 0.2 plus 0.07 plus 0.006. As simple as that. So this is the expanded form of 4.276. I hope that is clear. All right. Because when you add 4 to 0.2 to 0.07 to 0.006, you are going to get 4.276. So all this will give you what? 4.276 as in the what? In the question. So you are just to write it in an expanded form. So the moment you write this becomes what? Your answer. So this becomes what? Your answer in an expanded form. All right. Let's look at more examples to get clearer understanding. Don't forget the steps and explanation I've given you. Put them at the back of your mind because that is what you'll be using to solve the problems. All right. So example number 2. You're going to write 0.3 in an expanded form. 0.3 in an expanded form. So the first thing to do is that we know that the 0 is at the ones, so it is written as 0. And then the 3 is at what? The tens, so it's written as what? 0.3. So when you add this, in expanded form, it's going to be what? 0 plus 0.3. And you know this will give us what? This answer. I hope that is clear. All right. So let's solve another example. We have 0.48. So write 0.48 in an expanded form. So write 0.48 in an expanded form. All right, so in writing 0.48 in an expanded form, remember you have to identify the place values of the various digits. So the 0 is written as what? 0, and it's in the ones place. The 4 is written as what? 0.4, and then the 8 is written as what? 0.08. I hope that is clear. So in writing it in an expanded form, we have what? 0 plus 0.4 plus 0.08. This is our answer. I hope that is clear. All right, so let's dive in to look at more examples. We are going to write, let's say, 2.75 in an expanded form. So we have the 2, which is written as 2 ones. We have the 7 after the decimal point written as well 0.7, and then we have the 5 written as what? 0.05. So in an expanded form, we have it as what? 2 plus 0.7 plus 0.05. This becomes our answer. All right, I hope that is clear. We know that the 2 is at the ones place, the 0.7 is at the tens place, and then the 0.05 is at the hundreds place. So this is ones, this is tens, and this is what? Hundreds. I hope that is clear. So hundreds has 2 digits after the decimal point, tens has 1 digit after the decimal point, and always the ones is the first digit before the decimal point. All right, so let's look at more examples. Let's solve another example. We have 3.426. So write 3.426 in an expanded form. So the first one, we have the 3 ones, which is written as 3. And then we have the 4, which is, so this is the ones. We have the 4, which is written as what? 4 terms, which is in number of term, we write 0.4. And then we have the 2, which is 200s, right? 0.02. And then we have the 6, which is 6,000s. Write it as well, 0.006. So if you want to write it in an expanded form, write it as what? 3 plus 0.4 plus 0.02 plus 0.00. That is it. This becomes what? Our answer. I hope that is clear. All right. So let's look at another example which include zeros in between. So we have 5.304. The first thing is to write them in their various place values. So we have the 5 to be in the ones. We have the 5 ones. And then we have the 3 be 3 tens, which is written as 0.3. And we have the 0, which will be written as 0.00. Of course, we know it's just 0. And then we have the 4, which is giving us what? 0.004. So we know that this is 0. So anything that is added to 0 remains the same number. So this gives us what? In the expanded form as 5 plus 0.3 plus, so because it's 0, we can ignore it, 0.004. And this becomes our answer. I hope that is clear. All right. So it is your turn to practice. You can pause the video and practice this. Come back to check your answers are correct. Try. You have to write 6.582 in an expanded form. So we have a solution. First thing to do is to write the decimal place values of the various digits. We have 6 to be in the 6 ones. And then we have 5 be 5 tenths, written as 0.5. And we have 8 to be written as 8 hundredths, written as 0.08. And we have 2, which is 2,000th, written as 0.002. So in an expanded form, write it as what? 6 plus 0.5 plus 0.08 plus 0.00 is our answer. I hope that is clear. All right. So learners, today we have learned expanded form. And then we understand that it is the way we break numbers into their various place values. We have the tens, which is 0 point a number. We have a hundred, which is 0.0 a number. And then we have thousands, which is 0.00 the number. And always remember to match the place positions, because that is very important. I encourage you to keep practicing. And if this lesson helps you, please don't forget to subscribe and then hit the notification button for more step-by-step math lessons. God bless you for joining me. See you in our next lesson. Bye-bye.